All right, I wanted to take a moment to walk you through how you can build your own lab using a learning environment that I created for many video courses like this one, my books and other, activities in conferences like DEF CON and so on. And that environment is called WebSploit Labs. You can actually go to WebSploit Labs by just going to websploit.org, and it will take you to this page. And again, this is actually a learning environment that I have created for many different settings, and now different universities and other, educational institutions are also using it, and it's a community effort as well. So what it is basically a series of containers that include intentional vulnerable applications, and it comes with over 500 different exercises that you can complete. So we're just scratching the surface in this course, of course, but the first step to set it up is basically to install a VM, whether it's Kali or Parrot OS, and Kali and Parrot are the most popular Linux distributions that are related to ethical hacking and pen testing and so on. At the end of the day, what they're running behind the scenes is Debian, the Debian operating system. And what I did is actually I took advantage of course, all the tools and the environment that those two deployments or those two Linux distributions include. And then I created a script that will install a few tools that do not come with Kali or Parrot, and then install Docker, Docker Compose, and so on, and instantiate a whole bunch of different vulnerable applications running in containers. So if you look at the list that we have in the screen here, I separated into two different levels, beginner to intermediate and also intermediate to advanced. The ones on the left, they are very well-known vulnerable applications and learning environments, most of them created by the organization called OWASP, the Open Worldwide Application Security Project, and you will learn about this organization throughout the course here. The ones on the right, which are intermediate to advanced, and there are a few more in there, I actually personally created for trainings like this, and also for conferences like DEF CON and so on, and the ones in the bottom as well. So these are something that I introduce literally almost on a bi-yearly basis and so on. And you will see that at the time of the recording, this is the list. The list will continue to grow. And that's where we have over 500 different types of exercises and capture the flag type of activities. Capture the flag is a gamified approach on how you learn, not only how to hack, but in other scenarios also for the defensive side of security. Now, one of the questions that I get all the time is this safe for me to deploy? Is my computer going to get affected by any means and so on? And the answer is no. Basically, everything that I'm doing here is running on top of Docker, and specifically on top of Docker bridge interfaces, and where I'm simulating different networks. In this case, I have two networks at the time of recording, 10.6.6.6, and also down below the 10.7.7 network. And in this case, it's a /24 network, both of them, right? Just as you see in the screen. Now, what these intentional vulnerable applications allow you to do is practice your skills, again, in a safe environment, run all the tools that you have with Kali and Parrot, and then, of course, have really good hands-on experience. For the purpose of this exam, this is not the hands-on exam. This is, of course, the theory exam. But I always suggest for folks to practice, and do hands-on activities. That's the best way that I learn. I personally learn. And cybersecurity, and especially ethical hacking, is like math. The more that you practice, the better that you become. Now, if I go to the actual lab environment that we have here with WebSploit, I already have Kali Linux, and in this one I'm running Kali Linux, and throughout the course you're going to see a permutation between Kali or Parrot, just to show the two environments. I also clone different repositories, and including my GitHub repository, the hacker repository, that you're going to be learning throughout the course, and that is under the root directory under a directory called hacker. So this is the hacker directory. And if you're seeing here, you can see all the different resources that I have in the GitHub repository, from how to actually do reverse engineering, car hacking, different pointers for certifications, how to use programming and scripting for cybersecurity, AI research as well. So I have a section just dedicated around AI research. And as time progresses, I'm adding more and more information to this GitHub repository. So you can absolutely do a Git pull and then obtain all the different information that I'm including basically on a daily basis. And as you see in there, this VM hasn't been updated for a couple of days, and you see some information here related to foundational cybersecurity concepts, AI research, including model security testing, and so on. So this is an amazing resource for you to actually not only interact with the containers, but learn from these resources. I also cloned several other repositories that include payloads and word lists and so on. So for example, one under SecList has tons and tons of different word lists and payloads that you will use throughout the course here today. And then there's another one called Payloads All the Things. And again, this is all under root. Payloads All the Things include different payloads for web vulnerabilities, things like SQL injection or web cache deception, cross-site scripting, XML external entities, NoSQL injection, open redirects, and so on. So many, many, many of them, including even generative AI, like prompt injection attacks, and so on. So definitely, I will invite you to take advantage of those resources. Now, once you run the install script within WebSploit, as I mentioned to you, it will install Docker. It will install Docker Compose. All the containers are in Docker Hub. So I publish those in Docker Hub. But in order for you to know if the containers are running, you can use the containers command in here. And it's a utility that I created that it shows basically your bridge network interfaces. So everything that I mentioned to you earlier, like the 10.6.6 network, the 10.7 network, the two bridge interfaces in here, along with the IP address associated to each of the containers. And then down below, here is the information about the container status. And in this case, of course, this VM has been up for 2 weeks. So you see the containers being up for 2 weeks. But this is basically a permutation of a Docker PS command that allows you to see, okay, is JuShop running in here on port 3000, and what is the IP address? And of course, you can actually go to the table down below. So these are the containers that are supposed to be running, and these are the containers, of course, that are running. And all of them are running in WebSploit by default. If you want to conserve memory and so on, you can stop some of these containers and then only launch one or two, right? It's completely dependent in your environment. But you will learn more about this ecosystem throughout the course. We're going to be using it throughout the course for many different demos. And please take advantage of it and also contribute to it. So this is WebSploit's Lab.